Well, hello and welcome back. Today I'm sitting down with Angel. And Angel, you just got back from a mission trip, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, so you guys went to the Dominican Republic.
hmm
Can you tell me a little bit about what you guys did there?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Uh, um, Taking the opportunity to do so. Yeah, I can say going to the Republica Dominican was a experience of one of a kind, at
Mm-hmm.
least for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I was invited initially by Albert,
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was inviting me to go have coffee here, Mission Boulevard. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
I want to invite you to a mission trip, so that's what I took it like. But then that's I realized what he was what he meant by it. So going and being part of it wasn't something that I was planning or wanted to initially do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when I was invited, and then when I talked to Tani about it, we were like, oh, let's just go because
Mm-hmm.
we wanted to go out for vacation.
Mm-hmm.
We were thinking of going different places, and then at the end, we're like, why don't we just go to the mission? So it was something not planned,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end, I think it was the best thing that I've been a part of.
Mm-hmm.
It was the best thing. Um, what I learned,
Mm-hmm.
or what I learned from it, the experience itself was something very meaningful for my walk with the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have always had that thought of, having that relationship with the Lord and then, you daily walks and all that. But I always had that in the back of my mind, like, there's got to be something more with the Lord as far as miracles and
Mm-hmm.
extraordinary things,
Yeah.
like in the back of my mind, ever since I started, my walk with the Lord. Reading the Bible, you go through all of that stuff, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see something, I'll be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then for some reason, I had that linked to missionaries, for
Mm-hmm.
some reason, right?
Yeah.
So, when I was there, I, I was, I, I, I think the Lord took that opportunity to show me a lot of things about my personal relationship with Him, and the more I opened up to it,
Mm-hmm.
the more He was showing me things,
Mm-hmm.
and I was taken by surprise. Like really, like the first day when we arrived, um, I was just thinking, you know, what is it gonna be like, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, on our first debrief meeting, Eric said, this could be one of those opportunities where can make a distinction from a before and an after. And I heard that, I was like, well, there's got to be something special, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something special has to happen in order for that to
Mm-hmm.
happen. And I just thought about it, and I was like, it would be great to have an experience like that. And I just put it like in the back of my mind, put it in my heart. And then that night I went. We went to bed. I put on a playlist and I started listening to the words, and I was like, I haven't really paid attention to these words, but man, they do have a meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I think that started taking a chance, or I gave a chance to the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started seeing things and understanding things. And one
Mm-hmm.
of the things that like hit the nail was in Romans, when we're going through our devotional, and in that description that you know you're walking with the Lord, or that God is doing things through you,
Mm-hmm.
God is doing things with you, versus God doing things for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking, yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So when I went through that, I was like, okay, I think this has been going on for a long time. I just
Mm-hmm.
haven't paid attention to it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I was thinking, oh man, I I had it wrong here. How was my relationship with the Lord was wrong here. How I was seeing things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started thinking, just going back through uh, a few things in my life, and I'm like, yeah, he's been with me. He's been working through me, and it's not about what I was thinking about. Those great things, like I'm like, oh, so that made a lot of sense. And from then on, it was just like just taking it in, and being part of the team and helping out the kids and seeing their reaction and seeing how they were taking even the smallest things that we were doing for them. It was something really great for them. That also made me see what God was doing with me, because He was doing a lot of small things, and I was taking it for granted. So in a sense, I was like those kids saying, like, "Oh, man, God has been doing a lot of things. He's been doing a lot of things through my life, and I'm just starting to see it." And I was like, "Okay, this is great." So I think that made that distinction of this is before and an after, and I'm taking it with me, so that I can understand better what God is doing, with me, not only in my life but through the things, on my daily life.
And you shared a couple Sundays ago that it had a really big impact on your family too, right? Would you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So one of my worries was, Benjiro, as we know him. He's always he always wants that comfortable, to be comfortable, weather comfortable as far as AC, and then kids nowadays, they want their Wi-Fi, so they can be doing their things. And as a parent, one of the hardest thing as a parent is, you got your kid, and all you don't wanna hear from them is complain, right? That wears you out.
Right.
So I was worried about that. I'm like, how's he gonna take it? Like once we're there, there's no AC, weather is hot, humid, and then there's no Wi-Fi, there's no internet, there's no video games for him, right? So I was more concerned with that. But when we got there, he said, I don't need Wi-Fi. And I was taken by surprise. I'm more like, okay, I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah.
And that was such a great thing just to hear that. I was thinking, this is great, because he's been exposed to something different, and he's given it a chance as well.
Yeah.
So I was taken by surprise by that. And then Genesis was getting involved with everything, with the little kids, and then she was having fun. She was getting, along with the other teenagers, and just watching her being with that, I think it was very was emotional in one sense, but just how the Lord was doing those things to her. And then Tani, she was helping out with the volleyball with the kids, and she's not an outdoors person, but then again she was enjoying herself doing that. And the moment that I captured that was when she was teaching this little girl how to serve the volleyball, and she was showing her, and she did it, and then that little girl, repeated it, and the smile in her face, and then she started jumping around, and she was so excited. It wasn't something, like I would say, it wasn't something great as far as, knowledge and skills and all that. But the impact I had on that little girl, it was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And I took that as the same thing as we were saying, like little things that God does in our lives.
Yeah.
And they, when I come to understand it, it's like these little things that you're doing, that's so great and has a great impact, then I can, make an assessment in my mind, in my heart, and said, well, you're doing great things, even though they are really small, but they're great things.
Yeah.
And I was just awed with the whole experience, because it was ordinary things that we were doing, but I was able to see how God was working through those little things, and I was just taken by it. So my family was really blessed by it.
Yeah.
It was one of a kind experience. Yeah.
If there's someone listening who maybe is hesitant about going on a missions trip,
Hmm.
like what advice would you have for them?
I think give yourself the opportunity,
Mm.
because we plan. Uh, we have a lot of interests. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to enjoy this. I want to enjoy that. And that's great. We can do those things. But being, if you're part of a group, doesn't matter the size, but you're willing to give that a chance, and to trust God to teach you, to show you whatever that is that you're going through. And if you give yourself that opportunity to let God do that, I think is well worth it, regardless of the conditions, right? Like in this case, my case, I was worried about little things,
Mm.
which at the end they weren't there.
Mm. Mhm.
I was like, we could say like everything was in my mind,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then God took care of it
Mm.
in that sense. Like that wasn't even an issue.
Mm.
But what you gain from it is it's very valuable. So definitely, if anyone, if you want to be part of a trip, go ahead, give it a try.
Mm.
You're gonna gain more than what you're gonna lose. There's and especially if you're doing it with a community that has a good understanding as far as being givers,
Mhm.
that they want to give a little bit of that they have and share it with others, and then you being part of that, that's great. So yeah, go for it.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my experience, and I hope anyone listening can give it a try as well. Yeah.